What's up guys? So I know I haven't done a video in a while, but I'm gonna get back into the YouTube game a little bit. I've had a lot of requests for training videos, so I'm gonna do a series of short videos on training tips, and this is gonna be the first one for you guys. The first part of the series or whatever is going to be focused on back training. So this is going to be scapula, retraction, and depression. Alright, so I want to do this video first on shoulder retraction depression because this is one of the most important factors when it comes to back training that really gets neglected a lot with the majority of people in the gym. So a lot of people when they train back, they have protracted shoulders. So their shoulders are rounded forward, and this is about the worst thing you can do when you train back, which I'll demonstrate. So if you're not retracting and depressing your shoulders, you're just going to look something like this when you're rowing, either on your horizontal pulling movements like a row or your vertical pulling movements like a pull down or a pull up. If you're not retracting and depressing your shoulders or your scapula when you're training back, you're really just working your upper traps and the majority of your muscles in your upper back, so your upper traps, your rear delts. You're not actually really activating the lats. Of course, it's important to train all the muscle groups in your back, but the lats add to most of the mass, and that's what most people are trying to isolate when they are training back. So with protracted shoulders would be rounded forward, so you're out here. What you want to do when you row is retract and depress your shoulder girdle. So if your arms are out front, bring them back and down. So your shoulder is retracted and depressed. Now when you do this when you row, is really going to help to eliminate the use of the upper traps and really bring into play the lats when you row. The first thing you want to correct with this is change from protracted shoulders when you're rowing to just move, and then you're just using your shoulders to move the weight. Change that to retract, depress, and then row. You want to focus on driving with your elbows, and don't let your shoulders hike up when you begin to row. This is, even once someone is taught shoulder retraction and depression, this is usually one of the largest issues, is that they tend to shrug the weight up. You want to keep your shoulders and scapula depressed when you row. So first thing to correct, don't have protracted shoulders. Come back, retract, depress, and when you row back, drive with your elbows and keep the force downward. Don't let the weight shrug up when you row. The last thing to note when you are rowing is that, yes, you want to retract and depress your shoulders when you row, but a lot of people when they teach this, they stay retracted and depressed the entire move. So you're just in this plane of motion, but if you're just keeping your shoulders retracted and depressed the entire movement, you're not actually getting a full stretch on your lats. So what you want to do to get the most out of your back training, you want to start with protracted shoulders. The first part of the move, you want to retract and depress your shoulders and then row. Come forward, fully extend, retract, depress, and row. And you really want to focus on stabilizing your core throughout the move. So you're stretching, your lats are stretching, you're not hyperextending at your lower back. This doesn't just apply to horizontal pulling movements like a row, it also applies to a vertical pulling movement. So if you're doing your pull down, you want to retract, depress your shoulders,